Commence primary ignition.
Welcome back to Podcast 2 for 1. We're back for another Babycast review. Babycast review. So last time we talked about, what did we talk about last time? Oh, Bad Boys for Life. I couldn't remember.
Listen, guys, we're tired. It's been a long day.
It has been a long day.
We've both been shooting
We've
all
both
day.
been shooting.
Actually.
Yeah, we have been. Shooting, editing, all
Shooting
the,
and
all the
editing
good
all
stuff.
day.
On top of the podcast stuff.
Do you see what we do for you? These are the sacrifices we're making for your content.
We're not getting paid for this.
We should be, though, motherfuckers.
Okay, so Podcast 241, we're back. Babycast review. We're reviewing Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, written and directed by Kevin Smith.
None other than him.
None other than Kevin Smith. One cool thing, this movie came out on Blu-ray last Tuesday, and I bought it because I'm a pretty big Kevin Smith advocator.
Yeah.
I love his podcast, Fat Man Beyond. It was originally Fat Man on Batman, and with his partner Mark Bernard, and who I saw last summer. It's when I was an intern at Skydance.
You lucky.
I know. I think it was my
dog.
first day I was in there, and I had been listening to at the time Fat Man on Batman on the Metro,
Right.
And all of a sudden I am in the office and I hear Mark Bernard behind me, and I'm like, what? And I'm like my headphones aren't in right now.
Yeah.
And I turn around and there's Mark Bernard working behind me. And
That's awesome.
I'm like, yo, Fat Man on Batman, but I didn't want to get fired.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So,
burn all your bridges in LA.
Exactly. And I had just arrived, and I never got to watch the show at the Scum and Villainy Cantina, and I wanted to super bad.
Yeah.
But, anyway, that's my little soapbox there on the Kevin Smith podcast. But I had tweeted out to Kevin on Tuesday and said, "Hey, I enjoyed your movie, and specifically the certain scene," and he ended up liking my tweet,
Which is a sign that he will be on our podcast someday.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it.
Thank you, Kevin.
I wouldn't put it past us or him to get him on here.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah. So, Mr. Smith, Kevin, if you would like to be on our podcast in any way, shape, or form,
He will tweet you about this afterwards, by the way.
I
He's going
will.
to cut a clip and tweet you about
Exactly.
it. Which is, wait, what do you think of blame us? I mean, come on. It's Kevin fucking Smith.
We would love to have you on. I think we talk about the same cool stuff that you do. And
Yeah,
I
I can talk about how I've never seen any of your movies. You'll love it. Yeah, so to be fair, I've never seen a Kevin Smith movie.
You have not.
And that's not my fault in some ways.
Okay.
I grew up in a very strict household where there's
Right.
very strict rules about what kind of movies we watch, and especially no sex and bad words.
Right.
So I just kind of missed that whole era. I never had the chance to be a fan of him, to be honest.
I think I've seen every movie except I can't remember if I've seen Jersey Girl or not.
Okay.
I'm sure I've seen Jersey Girl.
So I want to. I know there's some better, some worse movies. I'd like to. I want to see Clerks for sure. I'd like to see Dogma.
I mean, Clerks is really important, especially to our film history. Because
It is, yeah.
Him and Robert Rodriguez, and during
The start of dirt cheap indie movies.
that late 80s, early 90s time period, right? Where you're coming in and
Yep.
and making these indie films, like you have your what is it, French New Wave, kind of you have a camera, you're just kind of shooting in real environments.
Was that French New Wave?
That French New Wave? Or is
Are you
that-
talking about Dogma 99 stuff? The
No, I wasn't talking about Dom 99. I was talking about, it's either French New Wave or it's what's the Italian neorealism?
No, you're probably thinking of Verite.
Is it Cinema Verite?
Cinema Verite.
For documentaries or just for...
Well, I think there was Cinema Verite. Like even like think about like goddamn, what's the Godard movie that I really liked? Breathless.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
Breathless.
and like they filmed like on all the streets.
Yeah.
Without actors. Like,
I'm
there
not
was
sure.
just real people walking down the street.
Maybe Clerks has that vibe, but the other ones, he
I don't know.
he starts getting a budget. Anyway, my whole point was...
Yeah, makes sense.
I say budget in a loose term. It's still small, right? Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy. Those three are my favorite. And of course, I
would like to see Chasing just because Amy lives here in Little Rock.
She does, actually.
Yeah. Amy, come be on our podcast.
We need to come on our podcast.
Why aren't you here this one?
Yeah, exactly. So I've always been a big fan of Kevin Smith, of course. He's always been in the pop culture in terms of reviewing people, and he has episodes on Arrow, or not Arrow, but Flash and Supergirl, and he's always been embedded into the geekosphere, as we call it, right? He has the comic book men show on AMC that's unfortunately got canceled. And he has such a vast knowledge of superheroes and pop culture in general, and it's just, and he even was tasked to pen the screenplay for the Man of Steel film with Nicolas Cage in it in the early 90s.
I don't know why I didn't know that film exists, but now I need it.
You never knew the Nicolas Cage film Superman? There's test footage, dude. They spent like
I need to see that.
They spent $20-30 million on this movie and they ended up scrapping it. There's a documentary called what happened to I can't think of the name of the movie. John Schnapp, Schweddy. He's got on Collider. He ended up passing away a few years ago, unfortunately, but he ended up making a documentary about this. He has interviews with Tim Burton's the director. Interviews with Tim Burton and
I want to see that.
And Kevin Smith. I'm pretty sure Kevin Smith is on the film. I haven't seen it yet, but I've been dying to watch it.
Where is it? Can we watch?
You can
like,
watch
streaming
it.
service.
You can buy it on Amazon.
Okay.
.com, I think. But anyway, let's get back to
other than obviously opposed to Amazon.org.
My nerd.
Don't go to Amazon.org
on Kevin Smith real quick. So the last few movies he's had are movies like Red State and Tusk and Yoga Housers, and definitely different vibes and different aesthetics than what we've got with Clerks, Mallrats, and Chasing Amy and Dogma and Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back, and they're kind of more of a horror vibe and got some different things going on. And where Kevin Smith to me really shines is not only is his dialogue and his characters. And they feel very real world. They have a good diction to them, and they just they have like mouth porn, right? We have a great thing in Clerks about it's a famous thing about the stormtroopers and how they were probably not all Empire because they're probably just innocent people throughout the galaxy.
Right, I remember. Yeah, I've seen that clip.
The famous thing, right? So stuff like that, it's really really interesting dialogue.
Which of the movie is Carrie Fisher in? Isn't she in one of those movies? Kevin Smith movies?
I think she might be in Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back.
Okay.
Out of all those.
And she
and so is Mark Hamill, actually. I'm not sure if Carrie Fisher in that one.
I feel like she was in one of them.
I do know this. In Scream 3, which Carrie Fisher is in, and Jay and Silent Bob make an appearance in.
Oh, okay.
So maybe that's some correlation there. But Jay and Silent Bob, the characters, played by Kevin Smith. Oh my God. I'm blanking.
Scroll up on the Wikipedia. Just look.
I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. I love him.
Silent Bob.
I know. No, it's not Silent Bob.
Oh, it's Jay.
Yeah, it's. I hate myself, Kevin. Don't hold this against me. I know everything about you guys.
It's warranted.
I said that, but now I feel like I'm failing at the moment.
I won't say you aren't.
I mean, I am. I feel horrible at the moment. Let's see. Give me 5, 4, 3, 2. Jason Mewes. So Jason Mewes, thank you. Sorry, Jason Mewes, please. Also, Jason Mewes has a movie coming out called The Madness of Method. And it's basically like a actor who method and he kind of goes off the rails, that kind of thing.
Oh, like a Jim Carrey biopic.
Yeah. And he's directing that movie. And that'd be kind of interesting to see what comes out.
Cool.
But anyway, Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. So these two characters, Jay and Silent Bob, they have made appearances throughout almost all of his films in some form or another.
Yeah, I did know that. And
his universe is called the Askew and Viewverse. Like it's his own,
What they call it? What?
It's called this Askew and Viewverse. Askew and Viewverse. It's a kind of an interesting
Askew and Universe?
Askew and View. Ask and View. Ask and View? Maybe it's Ask and View.
I still don't know what letters you're saying.
Yeah, it's ASKEN View verse or something like that.
Askew-verse.
Askew-inverse. It's right here. Look at this.
Askew-inverse?
The view Ask and View verse. Is that it?
Askew-inverse. Like it's everything is askew.
Okay.
Like
I don't
off.
know that word.
Like askew is like off kilter.
I am really showing my ass on this episode.
Askew-inverse. Which is, no, to be fair, that's a horrible word to try and say.
Well,
it is a mouth fucking full.
Anyway, the MCU, they didn't, of course, coin this. The comics did this, but Kevin Smith took this from the comics and started making a shared universe amongst his movies, right?
Correct.
Basically, Jay and Silent Bob Reboot is a love letter to all his old films, all the way from Mallrats to Chasing Amy to Clerks 1 and Clerks 2, and Dogma even. And it's kind of like it has so many references, not only his life in terms of him being a father, but also, all the films he's made and his career and kind of his, self-deprecating, idea of his own filmmaking, even though, Kevin has a lot of followers and a lot of people who listen to him, but at least persona-wise, he paints himself as someone who's not a good filmmaker, and, he's come a long way. So I would say he at least does something right for a lot of people. So he even comments on, his own, humor about himself and everything else. And the movie, may not be for everybody, but if you're a fan of Kevin Smith and you're a fan of these two characters, Jay and Silent Bob, it's cool to pick up with them 20 years later. It's the same storyline. And if you don't know who Jay and Silent Bob is, real quick, they're just basically
stoners, right?
they're stoners on a wall, right? They're hanging out outside the the gas station or whatever or the mall, and they're just kind of there to kind of create commentary and just kind of and then make and cut up jokes.
That's honestly my ideal life. I would like to do that someday.
And
except it's a podcast.
There you go.
We're here. We did it.
Exactly.
Mission accomplished.
And so they've of course had different adventures, and Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back.
Do they have any escapades?
They do.
Okay.
And Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back, they are they have characters created. Let's back up. In the movie Chase and Amy, Ben Affleck's character creates Bluntman and Chronic, who are basically like Batman.
I remember
and
that.
Robin,
I've heard that.
But they are based off Jay and Silent Bob.
Right.
So in Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back, there are now a movie is being made about their characters,
That's funny.
Bluntman and Chronic, and they don't like this specifically. Jay hates this idea, right? So they're going to go stop the movie from being made. And you have Mark Hamill make an appearance.
Oh, that's fun.
He's got it's a very Star Wars thing. He's got a giant fist. It's pretty hilarious. And
love it.
Yeah. And so they end up stopping the movie from being made or whatever, And then this one is about they not only lose the rights to their name, like Jay and Silent Bob, but they're making a reboot of the movie that they don't like. And so, and of course, the reboot
That's
is
fun. That's hilarious.
Silent Bob, he's like Batman, and then Jay is a female version of it's played by Melissa Benoist from Supergirl, and you know what I'm saying. So it's like Jay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and
I love that.
And Val Kilmer plays Silent Bob, and he's like it's pretty great. But that's it's like a last minute.
You're making
thing.
me really want to see it.
Yeah, and it's fun because you get all these cool references. Like in Dogma, you have Matt Damon and Ben Affleck characters. They're playing these angels who have fallen from heaven, and if they reach the gates of heaven, then they will destroy heaven, basically. So we had this whole scene that has Matt Damon turn around, look at the camera, and tells you what happened to his character after Dogma.
It's funny.
Yeah, and it's so interesting. We have these breaks, and it might be kind of distracting, like
little fourth wall meta.
Oh, the whole movie! It's the most meta filmmaker movie I've ever seen. And the best part of the movie, and I said this in my tweet, is we get a sequel to Chase and Amy. And what Chase and Amy is about is Ben Affleck's character who created Bluntman and Chronic, right? With Jason Lee, who's the inker, and he's the writer, and he's the inker. Jason Lee is. He ends up falling for this girl who is, what's her name again?
Amy.
Yeah, Amy. I think it's Renee. It ain't Renee Zellweger.
No. It's like a three name. It's like a three word name.
I'm only blanking because I'm nervous. I don't ever blank. Because I'm talking to Kevin Smith right now. I'm assuming
Joey Lauren Adams.
Thank you.
I knew it was 3 words.
I'm assuming he's
watching.
watching
3 words.
I'm assuming he's watching this podcast. So
he better be.
I hope he is.
Better be.
Be on our podcast, and I mean, I'll still ramble like this, like I'm an idiot around people, but.
Can confirm.
But what happens is he ends up falling for Amy, right? And turns out she is bisexual. She's a lesbian, and
is she bisexual or a lesbian?
She's bisexual. Sorry.
Okay.
She's bisexual, and she ends up. Sorry.
That's fine.
She going to get some heat for that one. So
you are going to be crucified after this.
I guess
you have dug your own grave.
I guess so. But she ends up kind of playing him in a sense, and he's trying to get her, and there's some interesting commentary about sexuality and relationships and what
I like sexuality
and what all that means. And what this movie picks up, it shows you what happens with Ben Affleck's character, and he has a daughter with Amy. They kind of have they kind of come together as not lovers, but as parents, and so they end up having a child together. And they're still best friends, but not in a relationship. And so it's this beautiful monologue about how they named their daughter Amy. So he's literally chasing Amy around. And there's this great commentary about being a parent, in which, Kevin Smith has talked a lot about with his daughter, who's named Harley Quinn. His daughter's name is Harley Quinn.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Harley Quinn Smith.
Wow, Kevin, I salute you.
Yeah. And so, which she makes she's a big part of the movie. She's actually the daughter of, Jay's character. So it's like
cool.
The whole thing is about him trying to stop this movie, but it's really about being a father to her finally. And he didn't know he didn't know he was a father to begin with.
Right.
So that's what the whole thing is about. And it's it's very much a commentary on Kevin Smith and how basically once you have a child, your story ends, and and theirs starts, right? And it's and like how not only in that coupled with the fact that your third act is someone else's first act, and how we're constantly being rebooted in a different way. Like humans are being rebooted through your own children, right? In some way.
Yeah.
Which is a great commentary on,
it is,
on movies and just generation
it's
itself.
Very cool.
So
very cool.
Ultimately, I really enjoyed the movie. I was laughing pretty consistently. If you don't
always
like
a good sign.
the humor that Kevin Smith has employed throughout his 20, 30 plus career now, you might not like this movie. And this movie definitely rests on the laurels of watching almost all of his filmography. So it's a love letter to those fans and to his career. So I think honestly, I want him to make more movies. I want my Mallrats too. But if he ended on this movie, it would have been a perfect send off for his career.
It sounds like what you're describing. It sounds like it could be.
It could be, but
like just from all the threads it's wrapping up. Yeah. Or at least maybe the end of, I don't know. I mean, it just sounds very finale-ish.
It really is. It has like a nice bow on the end of it, and it's really beautiful. It's really nice for I think for him. And this is the kind of movies I want to see. Like there are things about Tusk I enjoyed, and there's things about Red State I enjoyed. But this is the kind of Kevin Smith that I want. Like I want people talking and making funny jokes, but like having something to say, while they're making jokes, like literally something important to say about the human condition or where we're at in society,
right?
Which he actually does a really good job at doing. Give me more. But if this was the end, it would have been a great send off. But again, I think we've been confirmed we're getting a Mallrats movie. I think it's called Twilight of the Mallrats, which is a sequel.
That's funny.
Yeah, so,
funny title.
Yeah, so I'm there. Like especially Mallrats, I think is my favorite Kevin Smith movie. Period. And
yeah, I want to see. I kind of want to hit his his hits. I want to watch his
first
hits.
movie. His first three movies are very much to me a trilogy.
Clerks,
and they have
Chasing Amy, and which one?
And Mallrats.
Okay,
Mallrats being the second one. So if you watch those three in a row, like Jay and Silent Bob are in all three of them, and then even Silent Bob talks for the first time in in Chasing Amy.
Okay,
and so
cool.
It's a beautiful monologue also. So that's
cool.
A really nice little trilogy there. But at the end of the day, check out the movie if you haven't watched it. Do it. Again, go back and watch his previous films. There's something to learn from him.
If you'd like to respond to Donovan's commentary, his review,
yes.
or you want to say anything else, like you've been in a DC movie.
Joel Williams,
which you won't know about this until you watch the podcast episode at the end of the week, you motherfuckers.
I just spoiled that.
No, it's okay. They don't know what it's really about. They don't even know who Joel is. We get some shocking news on this Friday's episode. My God.
That's why we're recording this. Yeah, we're doing this out of order, actually.
Joel, you beautiful person.
Right.
But if you want to, join in on the discussion, bit.ly/241mail, you can write into us and talk all about your wonderful thoughts.
Yeah, and if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel. Leave
comments.
Comment. Yeah, comments.
Give us a like.
Yeah, give us some comments, some
Share
likes.
us with everyone that you know,
please.
Annoyingly.
Yeah. Share us on Twitter. And we're on Twitter, right? Podcast 241. We're also on Instagram, podcast_241. On Facebook, again, like and share. It helps people find us. It lets us keep making content for you guys. And if you guys enjoy what we have to say, great. And if you don't, that's great too. Go watch someone else.
Well, it's not great. Fuck yourself.
And
put up with that shit.
Right. If you're on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, whatever, leave us a comment, leave us a rating. Again,
5-star reviews only.
5-star reviews only. So check back upcoming episode. We're going to talk about the first episode of Picard.
Ooh.
And then we're having another Babycast retro review or not so retro review of
next
week of Spider-Man Far From Home.
Far From Home.
Yeah. And this man right here has not seen it,
which is ridiculous. I know.
Which is I think it's something cool about it because I get to I'm going to watch it again before. And then I get to talk to you about it's been
fresh opinions.
Yeah, so it's
hot off the press.
It's weird to me because it's
steamy hot.
It's like this
off the grill
Marvel Easter egg that you haven't got to experience. It's like this thing that I know about that you haven't.
Which I know. Unfortunately, I do know some of the spoilers, but it's fine.
Well, I think some of the spoilers are probably
evident from the trailers.
They're just evident from any
and just knowing Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly.
And Mysterio.
Exactly. What are you talking about? So anyway, thank you for listening to the Babycast review of Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. Kevin Smith. You should share us on your Facebook or Twitter.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And
I'm into that.
Be on our podcast because we would love to have you and pick your brain. And to us aspiring filmmakers, to someone who has had success.
Yeah, I mean, we'll fly you down to Little Rock. Now you'll have to pay. for the ticket, but we'll fly you in and you can be here.
Well,
I mean, to be honest, you have way more money than us, so that's not that unreasonable.
We will buy you dinner.
Yeah, okay. I mean, it might be like, fast food, but okay.
We'll take you out. We'll treat you nice.
I don't know what Donovan's going to do to you. It sounds a little bit dangerous, but
anyway, thank you for listening. My name is Donovan Thompson,
and I am Daniel Wingfield,
and we have spoken.